Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing undirected graph cycle presence by BFS. Since we know that if we are using BFS, any traversal of or detection of cycle, we will be always using Q. This question you can find on Geeks for Geeks. Okay. Now I will be solving it in Java. You can solve it any language according to you, whichever you feel like. Now to me it is given that my vertices is 4, edges are 4, and these are the edges. That is telling 0 is connected to 1 and vice versa, 0 is connected to and vice versa, and so on. Now what I will be doing, first of all I will be creating an adjacency list. Okay, for it 2D adjacency list I will be creating. For that, what I am going to do is I am going to make sure what all the node are connected to other nodes. For example, if you see 0 is connected to 1 and 2, so for 0 it will be 1 2, for 1 it will be 0 and 2, for second node it will be 0 1 and 3, and for third node it will be 2. Right, this is going to be my adjacency list matrix. Okay, now again, how we do in traverse, we are going to make one visited array to make sure whether we visited these nodes or not. Since there are 4 vertices, I am going to make it 4, and by default we are going to keep the value as false since we haven't visited any initial. Now what I am going to do, in the question it is not mentioned whether it is connected or disconnected, so I am going to run a for loop in it. Okay, so that for example if any node is present here, to make sure to traverse all, because it might be like this also. Okay, for example this edge is not there and the graph is like this, 0 1 2 3 and 4 5 6. So in that case cycle is for 4 5 6. So for that since if I start from 0 and there is no cycle present in this graph and it is disconnected with this graph, then I will get the answer false. That is no cycle is present, but that will be wrong because cycle is present. It is disconnected. Okay, so I will be using for loop for that because question has not given whether it is connected or not. So by default we will take the case in which they are disconnected even to be sure. Okay, so I'm going to run my for loop and I will run BFS.If for with parameter I which node I'm going to run, and I'm going to pass my adjacency list. Okay, now what I'm going to also do, whatever we are going to pass we are going to convert as true. Now I started my for loop. Okay, for now we will not consider this is a graph we have to focus on mainly. I will started for loop which will start from 0. This is going to be the starting point. Okay, so I started traversing 0, so I'm starting traversing 0, I will make it 2. Now what I'm going to even do, I'm going to make one more array named parent to make sure whether, since it is indirect graph, to make sure whether if this node is connected to another node, whether it's parent or not. It will be clear within few minutes. I'll tell you first. I make a parent which will be equal to width length or width length. Okay, 0 1 2 3. By default I'm keeping as minus. We'll keep it here like this, minus minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 for start, and I'm going to make q, and for starting node we are going to keep our parent as minus 1 only. So for which 0th parent is minus 1, for each purpose we did. Okay, I'll explain later. Since I have traversed this 0, I'm going to add it in my queue. Okay, I add it in my queue. Now I will start my while loop. What we usually do, makes the true after traversing and keep it in queue, and then we are going to start a while loop until and unless my queue gets empty. Okay, now what I'm going to do, take me a constant which is going to take the value of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the value of this in node and going to remove this. Now I'm going to run for each loop to make sure to traverse those nodes which are connected to 0. Okay, now what all nodes are connected from 0, that we are going to get from our adjacency list. We can see here 1 and 2 are connected with 0, right? And we are going to see whether they are traversed or not. If not, we are going to put it in queue and traverse it. If they are already traversed, we will leave them just like that. Okay, now as you see here 1 and 2 are there. First let's see about 1. 1 is visited? No, 1 is not visited. So what we are going to do, let us make it visited and make it true. Okay, and in parent node what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep the value of this 1 as node value, that is 0. That is, my 1 is coming, the 1 is coming from 0. It is a parent node. Try to understand clearly, try to understand as I move it towards solving the question, things will become more clear regarding parent. Now my 1 node is connected to 0th node, so I can say it is parent since it is coming. Yes, it is an undirected graph, but for our purpose we can say, since we started from 0, from 0 to 1 it is going, right? So for my 1th node, 0 is the parent, so I can say in parent array that at 1's place of 1th node 0 is the parent. Okay, now I came to 2. Is 2 visited? No, it is not. So again I'm going to make it visited. Acha, what else? We are even going to put it here, okay, in the queue. 1 already, 2 I put it in my queue, and again since 2 is coming from 0, 2 is coming from 0, so I'm going to put it parent as 0. Okay, okay. Now what you are going to do is, I did this, so my for each loop got finished for node 0. Okay, now again, is my queue empty? No, it is not. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the first value of this and remove this and store it in node. My node value became 1. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check with my node 1 whether these nodes are visited or not, whether these nodes is visited or not, right? Now I went to here in my adjacency list, it is 0 and 2 are there. Has been 0 visited? Yes, 0 has been visited. Okay, so what we are going to do, if we it is already visited, we are going to make one more condition, whether parent node is not equal to v. Okay, now I'll tell you, whether the node of this is not equal to v, that means it is going to be cycle. Now here my node is 1, v is here 0. Okay, so parent of 1, parent at 1 position is 0 and it is 0, so this is equal. So that means we are actually considering this line only. It is not like some another from somewhere else the line is coming and cycle is creating. Okay, yes. Now I went to another one. 2 has been visited? Yes, 2 has been already visited. So what I'm going to do is that my 2 has already been visited. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check in my else if condition this parent of node of 1, this is 0. What is v? V is my 2. This is like, I'm considering v as this. What is the list? Parent of node v is, parent of node is going to be 1 and v here is 2. V I am considering as my variable for each loop, 0 and 2. Now it is 2. It is not same, so that means my 0, from 0 it started, it connected 1, and then after that it is one more cycle is there from 2 which has already been visited because 0 had connection with it. Since this condition became true, that means cycle is present, and then why we are going to return true. Okay, I'll write the code to make it more clear. I'll write the BFS code. Okay, I agency list, and this is going to be this. First of all, we make whatever we took, example I took it as Q, true. Then I took a parent array to make sure whether it is coming from the parent or from other line or other node. Now I'm going to fill it with -1 by default, because as I told, whatever we take at the initial starting, we are going to, in our case we took node 0 as starting, so we are going to consider its node parent as -1 only. Now Q I took as integer, Q will be, we will be considering it as linked list, not Q, because Q is an interface. So we write Q integer Q is equal to new Q, it is going to give us an error. So this is the full code of undirected graph cycle by DFS. This is the code of BFS.